Welcome to episode 10 of Am I the Arsehole from a Christian's perspective. So, please like the video, comment down below what you think. Let's jump straight into it. So, am I the arsehole because I get up for 5 minutes after my fiance and I have after a meal? I'm assuming that's what it's meant to say, but that's not what it says in the title. Anyway, I, 23 female, and my fiance, 25 male, have been living together for almost 2 years. That's a pretty decent amount of time. In the last month or so, my fiance has adopted the habit of attempting to clean his teeth after eating by making this sucking noise constantly. It is such a disgusting noise, and I can't stand listening to it. For context, growing up, I grew up with a grandfather that ate with his mouth open and my grandmother who had issues with her throat. Because of this, for most of my life, I was subject to listening to some pretty gross noises while they ate. As an adult, I don't want to be subject to the same experience if I don't have to. I've brought it up to my fiance's attention several times. There's the key word there, or key sentence there, because if you brought it up with your fiance and you've talked about it, then you're not the arsehole. But we're going to continue reading. Every time he acknowledges it and says that he'll try to stop, he just feels like there's something in his teeth. Do you not have toothpicks? Anyway, I've suggested floss, toothpicks, these portable toothbrushes. Nothing has worked. He still continues to do it. I don't really see why I have to force myself to listen to him doing that. So after we eat, I made it a point to get up and go sit in a different area of the house for 5 minutes. We got into an argument about it, and he is calling me an arsehole because I shouldn't be getting this upset about something he can't help. You can! Wow! Like I said, I've already told him several times that I'm not going to subject myself to listening to him do that. If he's not going to make a more conscious effort to not do it, then I'm going to remove myself from a situation where I listen to him do that. I totally agree with that. You're not the arsehole. Let's continue. I'm not even trying to make him feel bad or give him this ultimatum, but I don't understand why I need to force myself to listen to him do something that genuinely makes my skin crawl just to make him feel better. It's also important to note it's not like he does this just after big meals. He does this multiple times a day after eating pretty much anything. Am I the arsehole? No. Simply, no. You are not the arsehole. You spoke to him a couple of times. You tried to remove yourself from the situation. He thought you were being an arsehole for it when you're not. And you spoke to him. Leave that person. I'm sorry. That's not a suited relationship. But who am I to judge? I myself in that situation would leave. If the person is not changing their ways after talking to them multiple times and they don't want you to leave that situation, leave. Just don't come back. So we're going to look at some of the comments down below to see if they say not the arsehole. People are saying not the arsehole. This story hasn't even got not the arsehole badge on it, but yeah, people down below are saying not the arsehole. Someone even says he's being a bully, which I totally agree. So we're going to go to the Bible verse, which is Proverbs 27:17. So iron sharpens iron, and one person sharpens another. I don't know exactly how this would be helpful in this type of situation, but just continue. If you don't want to end things, if he's not going to continue to listen, and you still want to be with him, continue to talk to him. Say, hey, I don't appreciate the way you're treating me for trying to talk to you about this situation. I'm trying to remove myself from this situation, but you don't agree with that. What should we be doing? I just think that myself would leave that relationship, even after 2 years, because the person just doesn't, isn't changing their ways, even though they probably said multiple times, I'm going to change. So we're going to jump to the next story. Am I the arsehole for ignoring my mother-in-law's wails? So wails, I'm pretty sure meaning crying. So 30 female Recently moved into a bigger place with my partner, 38 male, with his elderly mother since her husband passed 2 years ago. She's a very nice old woman who had a stroke in 2010, likes to read and do crossword puzzles, tidy things up around the place, go for walks, etc. A year after her husband passed, it became apparent she couldn't live alone. She doesn't want to. It's not that she couldn't, she just doesn't want to. Or she could just move into a home or, get a housemate. I'm just joking. I was very clear that I will not be a caretaker. I am coming out of my own trauma and grief, and it's not something I'm willing to do. What's your trauma and grief, by the way? I'm very empathetic towards her, making sure to get her out, taking her places she enjoys, scheduling her hair appointments, and also keeping her company so she can feel at least some sort of semblance. When I take her out for lunch or coffee, everything is fine in public. Keyword there, in public. She won't eat, she keeps her phone off, she doesn't want to talk to her brother or older son, which is understandable. My partner started calling me to get into contact with his mother, so I shut that down. She doesn't want to learn how to do anything for herself. She started moaning and wailing in the morning, early morning, and at night. My partner talked to her about it affecting our sleep. She stops. She is nice, but she's very much a nightmare patient, making everything difficult for the staff. With her hysterics to needles, she won't take vitamins we buy that are easy for her to ingest because she doesn't like gummies. When he's here, she's fine. When I'm not working and I'm here, she starts moaning and wailing in intervals. She communicates just fine. Her speech hasn't been impeded. I have my own mental health issues and do not have the space, and she refuses speaking to a grief She refuses to speak to a grief counselor. I put on my earbuds and ignore it. Her older son living in another state feels she is being irrational, but of course she is. She's feeling a lot very late in her life. I myself just don't have emotional space to assist with high emotional bursts between working physically demanding job, working a physically demanding job and struggling with my own mental health and grief at the same time. If she expresses with her words what's going on, I am more than happy to help. I sort of feel bad, but sort of not. So we're gonna read. Well, we're not going to read unless the comment looks interesting. But people are saying not the arsehole. She's definitely not the arsehole. She's just, the mother-in-law's an attention seeker. That's what I'm picking up from the story. The story was actually kind of confusing to me. I didn't get most of it. I don't know if that is just me or not, or if anyone else feels that way. But she's just an attention seeker, and she just wants attention. That's all it is, because she doesn't have her husband anymore. That's kind of sad. But you aren't the arsehole in this situation. Maybe for putting your earbuds in, and ignoring. But other than that, maybe you are sort of the arsehole. That's what's confusing. I don't entirely know. So we're going to go to a Bible verse, which is Galatians 6:2. So carry one another's burdens. In this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. And that's for Christians, obviously. But, yeah, just fill out one another's burdens. Don't just sit there and do nothing. If someone has a burden, literally look after them. The mother-in-law is burdening, and so are you. You have mental health issues, but you still should be looking after it's your mother-in-law. You should be looking after the mother-in-law. It's your partner's mum. Come on. You can't just go, yeah, I'm not going to look after, because she wails and whinges and stuff like that. But yeah, we're going to jump into the next story. So, am I the arsehole, or would I be the arsehole if I put a lock on my bedroom door so my girlfriend's mother can't sleep in our bed? I find this title quite reasonable if you've spoken to the mother, or if you've spoken to the girlfriend. My girlfriend, female 27, and I, male 30, are going on holiday in a few months, and her mother, female 60s, and stepfather, male 70s, have agreed to come and babysit our 2 cats, male 1.5 years and female 1.5. Why do we have to put the age of the cats? They're just 2 cats. Anyway, her mother has said that they will need to use both the spare room bed and our own bed when they stay, as they can't share a queen-sized spare bed for 1 week, as they will not be able to sleep in the same bed together all week. Blaming the bed size. My girlfriend has unhappily agreed to keep the peace, but is making me uncomfortable they'll be using our bed. Would I be the arsehole if I put a lock on her bedroom door just before we go away so they can't use it? Extra info that may or may not be relevant. My girlfriend's mother lives about 3 hours away, visits every few months, but the stepdad has never been before. Before we had the spare bed, she would happily sleep on the quiet, comfortable sofa, and we mainly got the spare bed for her visits. Although I know they are doing us a big favour by looking after the cats, they were intending to use it as a mini holiday. The mother does not always sleep in the same bed as her stepfather, as they both wake each other up snoring, and he is now getting some medical issues, meaning he has frequent toilet trips in the middle of the night. So, would he be the arsehole? Yes, you would be the arsehole. Your girlfriend has unhappily agreed, which means you are the arsehole. And it sounds like to me you have trust issues. I'm trying to understand why you don't want them to sleep in your bed. It just sounds like trust issues to me. Why do you not trust them? Why do you want to put a lock on the door? You never explained that. You were the asshole. I'm going to read a comment down below because this is something I agree with. So, you would be the asshole. If this arrangement makes you uncomfortable, find a different arrangement like a paid pet sitter. Totally agree with that. It's another option. It's okay to have boundaries, but sorry, I'm trying to understand the English. But you're in a choosy beggar territory because you want to set the rules without giving up anything up. Installing a lock instead of setting a boundary is too much. If you don't trust them to stay out of your bed because you asked, or you can't work up the nerve to ask and set that boundary, you shouldn't be accepting this help. 100%. I don't know what FWIW means, but anyway, I follow my own advice on this. We always paid a cat sitter or boarded our cat because the family options, while available and generously offered, weren't something I wanted to deal with. That's understandable. So, you are the asshole. It's not, would I be the asshole? You are the asshole. So we're going to jump into the Bible verse for this. Proverbs 25:17. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house, otherwise he'll get sick of you and hate you. So I don't know how this Bible verse is useful in this situation. I just put Bible verses that, would be part of this situation. Mind you, I do still use ChatGPT because I struggle to think of a Bible verse. So I don't know if that's cheating or not. I'm sure that other people wouldn't be too. Maybe some people would be great at picking Bible verses, but that's how I pick. Hate me if you want, but that's how I do it. I still do it. I try. Well, I want to try and not to, but it's hard to think. This person's going through this situation, so how else? Would I know exactly? I'm not the wisest person. I'm not as wise as King Solomon or King David. So if you really enjoyed this episode, please like and also comment down below what you thought of these stories. Other than that, I thank you for watching. Until next time, ciao.